There's been so much talk about careers for sustainability. But if you really look at it, there are very few people who know what these careers are. And these are careers of the future. So let's go on and talk about what are green careers and how can we prepare for the future. Let me also share a little bit about why I came across this question in Life with Them. We've been meeting youth all along, and some of them say we really care for the environment, they are part of Paryavaran clubs, but they don't really see this as a possible career option. What you see on the screen is a quote. In all honesty, I don't think of the environment when I think of my career prospects. It's there, but it's an afterthought. The source for this is a report by the MCS Charitable Foundation. This is based out of UK. And many times students do want to do something for the environment, but they're not sure that this is actually a career. So for all of you who want to understand what green roles are, we have an amazing professional person who is into green careers, has a very, very rich experience in technology, training, and has started off as the strategic advisor at the Skill Council for Green Jobs. The right person to educate us on this topic. He's been the head of training, content, and technology at Tata Power Company Limited. He's led positions at NIIT, NIS Sparta, Aptara, and SIFI, and he is from IIT Delhi. Many times, if you see his trajectory and his career, you will notice that he's repivoted, changed the basis of what is the service that he is offering. Welcome, Mukul, to the Life with Their Career Chat series. We are so happy to have you here. And what brought Mukul and me together was, of course, my initial career track at NIT back in 1992. And then much later, I think about 10 years back, when he started to share his spiritual journey with us. He's a reader, he's an avid blogger. He finished school sometime in 77 when I was barely 3. And that's not the only reason why I look up to him. I look up to him because he has worked through a lot of challenges and he continues to mentor, be friendly, and give you advice and also tell you as it is when it needs to be said. And if you think he's all about technology and green careers, well, he's won the Reddy Himalayan Rally in 2006. And when I was speaking to him the other day about this talk, he said, simply put, sustainability is to give more than you get. What a beautiful line that sums up almost everything about sustainability and green careers. Over to you, Mukul. Please take over. And welcome so much once again to this particular series. And we're not going to just give you one video, we're going to give you a series by Mukul. So he's going to talk to us today about what are green careers and the future of green careers. And what you see on the screen are snips from news channels. And if you see each of these, you realize that we don't have a future if we don't start revisiting our work and life. So it's not the future of green careers, it's our future which is at stake. And we need to understand what Mukul has to share so we can contribute towards a better and more sustainable world. Over to you, Mukul. Please share all your insights and your journey on these two areas.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vidya, for having me here. These are very interesting questions, and they're actually gaining more and more traction with the way the climate is going. I got exposed to this recently, and it's been amazing how the journey has gone. So I'll be very happy to share everything I can that helps youngsters, and I've been doing that all along. So let me share a little bit about the first question that you had. What are green careers? And I put together a little mind map. I hope you can see the screen. So the first question about what are green careers? It goes into first understanding what is a career. And a career is essentially a progressive series of steps that take you along a profession. So you first have to choose the profession and then you have to grow in that profession. Green careers are in profession. And what's a green profession? They refer to progressive roles in every field that focuses on protecting the environment and creating a sustainable future. Sustainability is becoming more and more a question. Our lifespans have been going up the last 200, 300 years. We've been increasing our lifespans. But now our very existence is in danger. We can see that with the calamities that nature is showing us. So you have floods, you have earthquakes, you have uh, uh, icebergs vanishing, you have sea levels rising. Sea levels rising, you realize that with rising sea levels, all coastal towns are gone. Crores and crores and crores of investment, not only investment, but livelihood. All of that vanishes. And it's scary. It's scary what is happening, and it's even harder with time going by. Green careers are therefore doing a job which helps to protect the climate, which helps to protect the planet. And green careers could be something as simple as being paid to switch off or every morning once the night is done. Switch off the lights. Switching off street lights is a job, and it's a green job. It's a green job because you are saving electricity. That job is about saving electricity. So similarly, there are jobs all across. You have jobs which make better use of waste. So they take they take sustainability into into practice. They help us sustain from what we have spent. So what waste we create comes back. Solar energy, wind energy, of course, we know all of that. All of the renewable energy jobs are green jobs because they don't consume energy. They actually uh, transform energy from one form to another, uh, from what nature has provided us. These renewable energy forms are probably our biggest bet, our biggest hope. So solar energy, wind energy, uh, small hydropowers, large hydropower plants, the ones that submerge villages under dams, and those have not been listed because they actually destroy the environment as well. So small hydropower is the ones that don't consume a lot of, let's say, the dam is not so big, so it does not submerge a lot of land. So those are small hydropower plants. You have tidal energy, waves, sea waves. They can help us generate energy. All of these, by the way, are existing. They exist. It's just that they are not commercially scaled up, and they are probably are some of them are not commercially viable. But research is happening in each one of these. Uh, Solar is the one that's most promising, and that's going along. Water management, forestry. So you go down the list. Conserving forests. Every job to do with the as a forest ranger, preventing forest fires, helping more trees grow. All of those jobs would qualify as green jobs. wildlife conservation, green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is now emerging as one of the renewable energy sources. Actually, sources is probably a misnomer. They are carriers. Green hydrogen is a carrier. It's an energy carrier, but it's highly efficient in the way it carries, in how much it can carry a small volume. There are, of course, risks. There are costs which are being worked on so that use becomes safer. Right now, you have vehicles, and most of the world's leading auto manufacturers, they have models that use green hydrogen, uh, but there are very few, and they are very expensive, quite expensive. Not very expensive, but so. Uh, so all people who work at creating those vehicles and designing those, all of those jobs would also be green jobs. We have green hydrogen. People who work in the transportation sector, especially using EV, uh, they are all green jobs. EV is electric vehicles. And you would see a lot of EVs. They're growing quite rapidly. More about EVs later, probably in another session. Financial, there are financial jobs that happen that are coming up because of the way carbon credits are going to be accounted for. And helping people to account for carbon would qualify as a green job, because as soon as you account for something, you also start improving it. So it's like the old management adage, which says that you can't improve what you can't change. You can't change what you don't know. And you don't know what you don't measure. Measurement is what accounting is. So carbon credits or greenhouse gas accounting, all of these are the starting points now for how green the planet can become through accounting for carbon, because carbon is the major element that causes global warming. So we have financial jobs happening because of that. You have CSR, corporate social responsibility. And CSR, until a few years ago, I used to believe it's all about free. The first thing that comes to mind is that CSR means something is free. That's the impression I used to have. But actually, it's about sustainability. How can you help sustain society? And it's a corporate social responsibility to sustain society. The Tatas have done it very well, and almost all other industries also, industrial houses also accept. But the Tatas have explicitly said it, that their entire purpose for existence and the purpose for their industry is the community. And that is corporate social responsibility. If the community did not exist, there would be no reason for the industry to exist. And therefore, it is uh, not prudent at all for the industry to do anything that harms the community. So that is the simplest form of sustainability that begins right from the start. So that's about CSR. GHG accounting is greenhouse gas accounting, and this is similar to the financial and carbon credit area. It's similar. And sustainability reporting is something that uh, nations around the world are now beginning to mandate. So, for example, in India, the top 1,000 companies are mandated to submit a sustainability report as part of their business report. And this mandate has been given by SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. And this sustainability reporting is what makes BRSR happen. There are a whole host of specific green careers, but We were discussing, Vidya and I were discussing earlier, even conventional jobs are becoming green. They are turning green because each of those roles is being encouraged to conserve, to find new ways to innovate, to actually execute their earlier role without harming the environment. And therefore, each one of those jobs is becoming green. Any career. Do you know how many tech roles are there in that career and how many non-tech? The non-tech, they uh, exceed the tech roles by far. The reason being that, uh, just for example, business development or sales. Sales is one thing that is common across all endeavors, all businesses, all industries. Sales is a non-tech role, and sales is unavoidable. It is imperative for a large sales force to be there for any business to succeed. When I say large sales force, the large sales force depends, the size of the sales force depends on the kind of industry it is, of course. So FMCG will have a really large sales force, and maybe Rolls-Royce will have a very small sales force. The sales force definitely it takes a lot of value from the system of the industry to ensure that the industry prospers. So non-tech roles are, even in traditional careers, non-tech roles exceed the tech roles. The tech roles only make the things happen. The non-tech roles, which is all about administration, management, sales, customer engagement, all of those roles are the ones that scale up. That scale up when businesses scale up. So it's very important. Non-tech roles are very important.
Thank you for sharing that, Mukul. I think that's very important for us to understand. And the truth is, people still, even though climate change is hitting us really hard and the news is bursting in on us, people don't see a future in such careers. And I would just like you to spend a few minutes just sharing maybe a few very typical roles, the ones that are commonly understood or seen.
Traditionally, green careers have not been known very much, as we are also today saying that we are discovering a few things. While that has been the trajectory that green roles have been on, but they are very rapidly, they are emerging as highly sought after. People are seeking. Large companies are seeking. So if you go to EY, for example, and this is not something that I know directly, but I know somebody who was requested by EY to source people who could advise other people on green conservation. And how many people did they want? They wanted 10,000 people. So it's large numbers that the big five or the big four are looking for. Because actually, for industries, consulting is where it begins. Now, if I'm a student, how do I look at myself getting into EY, into a consulting role? That'll happen sometime later for me. But I should know that there is a possibility and that's a direction. It's going to be a huge area. And let's also realize, okay, so let's have another take on this. The take is that if I can't understand something, and most of my friends can't understand something, and a lot of people are saying that it's very important, then obviously there is a job for people to help us to understand. So somebody will emerge from somewhere who will help us to understand what we need to understand. And we ourselves could be those people as well. As soon as we become those people who can explain and who can advise, who can encourage people to move in the right direction, we are of value. And the CSR operations of companies currently, and for many companies, even their core operations, will demand such people to be taken on roles. So it's going to be very rapid. I predict maybe at the most 7 or 8 years is until when we need to wait for them to become mainstream jobs. I don't even think it's going to take more than 3 years. But maybe, so let's say 3 to 7 years is my gut feel. Within 3 years, you'll find green jobs in the mainstream. And then if you started on green jobs today, you would have a lead on all those people who will take on green jobs later. So the future. The future
Absolutely.
does not happen without green jobs.
Yeah. Our future is bleak without green jobs. And I think we need a lot of youth, owning
Yes.
this fact and working towards it. So thank you so much. We look forward to more
Great.
wisdom, more knowledge, and sharing in our future sessions. And if you enjoyed this video, the Life Vidya series, and found it informative, do share, like, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time. Bye-bye.